We were standing by our father's coffin, the air thick with lilies and whispered condolences. Her black dress clung too tight, her diamonds caught the light like a performance. She leaned in, perfume suffocating, and hissed, just for me, "Poor you, still single at 38. I got the man, the money, the mansion." Her smirk was poison. I tasted metal on my tongue, but I only smiled. "Have you met my husband?" I asked. I raised a hand. He stepped forward. Her smirk cracked. Her knuckles whitened around her clutch, and when her eyes locked on his face, her body stilled, as if her blood had turned to ice. Recognition, shock, guilt. I watched her freeze. I savored it. 4 years earlier, he wasn't just a fiancé. He was my future, or so I thought. We met in the boardroom, me presenting a proposal, him sitting across, pen poised, but gaze fixed on me like I was the only person in the room. He was wealthy, sharp, the kind of man who built empires in silence. And when he slid the ring on my finger, I believed I had finally stepped into the life I had earned. Then came my sister. She was always the shadow trailing behind me. Jealousy clung to her like a second skin. Every medal I won, she scoffed. Every promotion she dismissed. But when she first met him, my fiancé, her laughter rang too loud, her hand lingered too long on his arm. I noticed, but I trusted. Trust. What a foolish currency. The discovery. It began with small cracks. He canceled dinners. She stopped answering my calls. Their stories aligned too neatly, like actors reading the same script. Then the message. A careless mistake. His phone buzzed while he showered. I glanced. A single line. "Last night was perfect. Next time, no guilt." Signed with her initial. Her initial. The world tilted. My throat burned. But I didn't cry. Not a sound. I set the phone down, smiled at him when he walked out of the bathroom, kissed him, and in that silence, I buried the version of myself that trusted. I didn't confront them. No scene, no screaming. I simply began to plan. The shift. Revenge doesn't live in fire. It lives in ice. I turned cold, deliberate. First, I broke the engagement quietly, citing differences. No drama for them to feed on. They thought they had won. They thought I was weak. While they celebrated their stolen love, I built my arsenal. I dove into his company records. He wasn't just careless with his heart. He was careless with his money. Shell accounts, tax holes, investments tied to fragile strings. He had power, yes, but power built on shaky ground. I learned everything. Numbers, partners, enemies. And then I waited. The execution. Patience paid. Within a year, cracks in his empire widened. I positioned myself in just the right place, consulting for a competitor, feeding information when necessary, pulling strings he didn't know I held. Deals collapsed. His investors fled. The mansion he once flaunted bled value until foreclosure loomed. My sister clung tighter to him as his fortune slipped. She had chosen him for wealth, not love. Her smile dimmed as bank accounts thinned. And then, when he was stripped, humiliated, discarded by the very circles that once praised him, I made my move. Not toward him, toward someone better, someone smarter, someone with enough power to crush him, and enough interest in me to give me everything he once promised and more. That man became my husband. The funeral. And now here we stood. My sister in her designer black, pretending grief, whispering venom. She thought I was still alone, still broken, still beneath her. Until I called him over. My husband. The man who had bought her ex-fiance's company out of bankruptcy. The man who now owned everything she thought she had stolen for herself. When she saw him, the color drained from her face. Her lips parted, trembling. Her gaze flicked from me to him, then back, calculating too late. I leaned closer, voice low, intimate, deadly calm. You always wanted what I had. Now you get nothing. The payoff. She excused herself from the room soon after, muttering about needing air. I watched her heels click too fast across the marble floor, her composure unraveling with each step, and I felt nothing but clarity. People call revenge sweet. They're wrong. It isn't sweet. It's sharp, precise, like glass breaking in silence. I didn't need to scream, didn't need to fight. I let time carve the wound for me. All I had to do was place the knife of truth into her trembling hands. My father was dead, but in that moment, I buried something else. Her power over me. And as I stood at the coffin, my husband's hand warm against mine, I smiled. Because I had already won.